L'shaper Chavra. Let's take it home. Let's take it home. Right now, Kevin. Right now. Right now, we're leaving the gates. We're leaving the gates. Get in the game. Chaver Bezrat Hashem. Wow. Wow. I felt like I was an NBA player running out of the gates, running out of the tunnel. Starting lineup getting announced, bench players getting announced, the whole arena going crazy. That's what it was like. Wow. The hype, Chavra. And this is the game, Chavra. Atfil b'shem Kol Yisrael. For Pesach, Reuven ben Yosef Asar, Bracha Bas Yehudis, Miriam Dori Bas Chani Uchaved, Yona Bas Basia, Shira Bas Basa, Sinai Reuven ben Mani, in every neshama and Klal Yisrael, B'Shem Kol Yisrael. Loving God, bring us to true prayer. Throughout the day, let us always pray in the proper way, truthfully and sincerely. Arouse our feelings until we pour out our very hearts to you in prayer and supplication. Help us bring all the goodness concealed within our inner good point out into the light. Let us draw the words of our prayers and supplications from the very depths of our hearts. Bezrat Hashem. Chavra halacha l'maisa. Wow, second quarter now. So immediately before affixing the mezuzah, he should recite the following blessing, which I did not do. So this is great to know. Ashir Kiddushana b'mizutav v'sivanu ligboa mezuzah. So, who has sanctified us with his commandments and has commanded us to affix a mezuzah. Im koveya kama mezuzot. If one is affixing many mezuzahs at one time, one blessing is sufficient for all of them. So we'll see what that means in a second. Right, so the footnote says here, before reciting the blessing on the first mezuzah, like let's say you move into an apartment and you're putting up a bunch of mezuzahs, one should have in mind that the blessing should pertain to all the subsequent mezuzahs. In addition, one should not interrupt the fixing of the mezuzahs with idle talk or talk that does not pertain to the mitzvah. Halacha l'maisa. If after it was affixed, the mezuzah fell off by itself and one affixed the mezuzah to the doorpost again, he must also recite the blessing when doing so. However, if he had removed it in order to check it, the halacha is unclear regarding whether he must recite a blessing when he refixes it, right? Unintentionally and intentionally. So, Chaver Bezrat Hashem, we should look further into the halachos. And Bezrat Hashem, when we get to that situation sometime in our life, we'll know what to do. And even before that, we should review it. All right, now we're entering the third quarter. Our coach is in fresh. Wow, this is geschmack. We're mamish playing a basketball game right now. We're bringing back the Cougars, the frisch Cougars. Where our coaches used to say that the first 3 minutes of the third quarter are the most important in the game, right? You're setting a tone for the second half, right? But some might say that the tip-off of the first quarter is the most important, or even before that, the pregame, right? We spoke about this other day, preparing for tefillah, right? Is mamish the biggest? It's mamish so important. Preparing oneself, right? We mentioned the Chabad schedule, the 9:30 tefillah, right? But they're not getting up at 9:15. They're getting up at 3:15. So the preparation is even more important than the tip-off. Got it. But 3 minutes. We're in the third quarter, Chavra. So simplicity in davening, Sichot 75. The Rebbe often spoke with us about prayer. He constantly told us to force ourselves to pray with devotion, strongly binding our thoughts to each word and listening very carefully to the words we are saying. The Rebbe had told many of his disciples to study the Kabbalistic writings of the Rizal, but even these disciples were not advised to follow the Kabbalistic devotions during prayer found in these works. He said that perfect prayer is the plain meaning of such words as Baruch Atah Hashem. Blessed are you, Hashem. Devotion is concentrating on the meaning of the words and listening to them carefully. So it's simplicity, Chabra. It's mamish just saying one word and really focusing and concentrating and being slow, bli lachatz, right? Where are we going? A friend once told me that why does some Chabra, and I'm a victim of this all the time, like leaving early from davening or wrapping tefillin early. I actually just got most of the other day. After Aleinu, I started like wrapping the tefillin. This was Sfard, and someone just gave me like a snap, like, what are you doing? Like, where are we running to? why are we rushing to get out? Like, Ramam is speaking to the Rebbeinu Shalom. It's unbelievable. The Rebbe would ridicule those who said that a person should not force himself to pray. He advised us very strongly to pray with all of our might, putting all of our strength into each letter of the service. Right? Every letter counts, but also if we don't have that motivation, we don't have that fire like we spoke about in previous Sichot, we still force ourselves. Right? We create that fire. We're forcing that fire, even if it doesn't exist. Mamish. We just got to fire it up. Every single word, every single letter counts. Why am I we're playing a basketball game over here. Every single loose ball counts, every single 50-50 ball. Right? We have to picture each letter as a 50-50 ball. He also instructed us to ignore all disturbing thoughts during prayer. His advice was that we're merely pray correctly, disregarding all distractions. And he said we should turn our minds away from all such thoughts completely. The Rebbe also said that it may be impossible to go through the entire service with proper devotion. Still, each person could say a small portion with true feeling. Maybe we should all take on one little, even if it's one word or one sentence or one passage, really taking it on and really just focusing in, locking in, and making our prayer, owning that prayer. We're not going to continue to cover this. It's going to be like a part 2 and maybe a part 3 of this Sicha. It's a longer one, Baruch Hashem. We see this all the time. One person might have a deep feeling while saying the Torahs. The prayers in place of the incense offering. Another may pray best in the Pesukei de Zimra, the opening Psalms. And Rav Nassan once saw a lesson regarding this in the Rebbe's writings. It was never copied, and I could only report what I remember. The Tikkun Zohar, right, 18, states that there are masters of the hands and masters of the feet. The human body has a transcendental counterpart, and each of his limbs corresponds to a portion of the service. Each portion is also associated with a particular limb. When he comes to the part of the service pertaining to his limb, he's aroused to great devotion. Chaver, I can't recommend it enough. Potency of prayer. Rest of the books. Let's order it, and I'll order my second copy. Baruch Hashem. You may sometimes pray with great devotion, but then the feeling departs and the words begin to seem empty. Do not be discouraged, for you have merely left your area on the transcendental form. Continue the service, saying each word in absolute simplicity. So we may choose that word, we may choose those letters, we may choose those sentences and passages. But even the designated ones that we're searching and we're really tapping into and changing our frequency a little and tapping in a very deep and concentrated place, even in those times, you could have contradicting thoughts, where you could be disrupted, and what you intended to happen may not happen. Nachman says, like you're saying Baruch Atah Hashem with simplicity, you're saying those words, even if you don't have the kavanos, the right kavanos for, or the right intentions, right? Still say them with simplicity and disregard all outside thoughts. And now that it's just a chavruta with Hashem and I, Baruch Hashem, we're going to bring this even further, right? Concentrating on these words is really peleplayim, because the chevra somehow we go fast, right? Minyan is really fast. I've yet to been in a minyan where it's relatively slow. Actually, I'm wrong. This is actually very Gavaldic minyan. Let's go on a tangent right now. Why not just go on a tangent? Last year during summertime, there wasn't like an official minyan for JLIC. So what do? We went to the main synagogue, the Beit Knesset Gadol, in the main street in Herzliya. And we go to the, we can say we went to the latest minyan. I think it was like around 9 o'clock. What a geschmack minyan. The people there literally were in the synagogue from like 6 a.m. They were davening for like 4 hours at that point. They've probably been in multiple minyanim. And it was unbelievable. It was like Shabbos, like every single day of the week. It was incredible. And on top of that, mamash so geschmack. We're not even pressed for time, mamash. Like we're living the Torah that we're learning right now. We're not pressed for time. And in the minyan, I think in all minyanim in that synagogue, right, they have a system where in order for there to be air conditioning, they have to give tzedakah to a tzedakah box, an electronic tzedakah box that's connected to the air conditioning. So if I give 1 shekel, that equals like 5 minutes of air conditioning time. And remember, Chevra, it's like 105 degrees in Herzliya, starting in mid-July. So we're heading towards the direction soon. I think it's late night. It's mid-90s next week. And if you give 10 shekel, 10 shekel equals like 40 minutes. So like those are the geschmack people who give 10 shekel. And you see the time on the air conditioning, which is pretty cool. So it's really an amazing system. It's an amazing system. And they're really just incredible people. Made a lot of friends there. So yeah, they really they focus on the words. They're benachat. They're in Shabbos. They're mamash in Shabbos. And yeah, there we go. Marv is over, or Marv has just begun. Samson, how are you?
Just us?
It's just us, Baruch Hashem. I was like thinking, like, look, it was just a chavruta. It was just a chavruta, so like it just made sense to just go on a tangent and just speak. But Baruch Hashem, we're talking about the really concentrating on the words and the letters of the davening of the prayer service.
Yes, I don't know what this is. It's the party. Can you hear me?
No.
How about now?
Yeah, I hear you now. What's up?
How are you doing? Wait, was anyone on tonight, or was it just you and the Olam?
It was Avi Kirakowski and I, and then the Olam. And then you.
Olam, developed. Now me. Developed.
Baruch Hashem.
Give me a recap. Sorry, I missed it.
I'll give you a recap right now. It'll make a lot more sense. I was very lengthy with that. Baruch Hashem. Rabbi Nachman's talking about the concentrating on the words of the tefillah, like with simplicity. Mamish with simplicity, Samson. And it's like, and he gives the example, Baruch Atah Hashem. Baruch Atah Hashem. And, Rav Ari Rosenfeld talks about, we don't even have to get into, we'd love to get into Rav Ari Rosenfeld. And like people think like, okay, like how do I connect to these words? But really, if we take a step back and we really just focus on Baruch, like, and then Atah and then Hashem, it's like, whoa, that actually means something. And then you feel that arousal, and then you feel that like mamish, that fire intensity. So Rav Nassan in Potency of Prayer talks about the bracha of Birkas Torah, right? In the first two passages, if we look closely, it's all past tense, right? It's all past tense. But what about the final bracha, right? Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Hashem notin haTorah. Notin meaning the giver of the Torah, giving the Torah. It's present tense. Rav Nassan points out notin haTorah is present. Right, so who gives the Torah? So if we think like this, and we're like, wait a second, Notina Torah, Hashem is mamish giving us the Torah anew each day. He's chachut each day. He's continually giving us the Torah. It's mamish unbelievable. Not only is he waking us up, Moda'ani, the Torah every second is new. Oy vey, Hashem. So, anyways, that's what we have to focus on. Samson, what were we gonna say?
It's big. It's a big Indian. We should be around because for people that wish they could be on tonight. They weren't able to.
Rabs, just learn Rashi.
Just learn Rashi.
Just learn Rashi, but also just learn Samson. I mean, look at Samson. Just look at your screen right now. You have the Shabbos candles in back. Right, you have the baguette, you have the calculator, you have the pencil. You're doing mathematics for building bridges in the Beis Hamikdash. We have to return back to that, by the way. The
got a big test. Yeah, a big test tomorrow. Big, very huge test.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
You are. Yeah.
I'm ready. You're ready.
I
know. I've said to myself before, like, even I'm ready. It's going to be a surprise. And before the first test, we can end the recording. We have to talk different stuff.